Footsteps slammed against concrete. Dr. Amara Okoye ran. Her breath tore out of her chest in sharp, panicked bursts as her shoes skidded across the oil-stained floor of the parking garage. Her ID badge swung wildly against her scrubs, smacking her ribs with every step. Somewhere behind her, another set of footsteps echoed, slower, deliberate, unhurried. He wasn't running. That terrified her more than anything. Amara reached her car and fumbled for her keys, her fingers numb, shaking so badly they slipped through her grip and clattered onto the concrete. The sound echoed too loudly, like the garage itself was announcing her fear. "Don't," a voice said calmly from behind her. She froze. Her chest burned. Her pulse roared in her ears. Slowly, she turned. The man stepped into the light between two parked cars. He wore hospital-issued work boots and a gray jacket zipped halfway up. His face was relaxed, almost gentle, like this was a normal conversation at the end of a long shift. "Doctor," he said softly, smiling, "you dropped these." He held up her keys. Amara stumbled backward, her heel catching on a parking stop. "Stay away from me," she said, her voice cracking despite her effort to sound firm. "I just want to talk," he replied. "You always walk so fast. I figured tonight I'd finally catch you." Her heart pounded harder. "I don't know you." He tilted his head. "That's not true." Before she could scream, he lunged. The sound tore out of her throat just as strong arms wrapped around her wrist, yanking her toward him. Her back slammed against the side of her car, pain exploding across her shoulder. And then, "Step away from her." The voice cut through the garage like a blade. The man froze. A third figure moved into the light. Tall, broad-shouldered, calm in a way that didn't belong in moments like this. His white coat was gone, but there was no mistaking who he was. Dr. Nathan Hale, head of cardiothoracic surgery. "Chief." The man holding Amara laughed nervously. Hey, this isn't what it looks like." Nathan didn't raise his voice. He didn't rush. He took one measured step forward. "Release her," he said again. Something in his tone made Amara's attacker hesitate. His grip loosened just enough. Nathan moved. In one precise motion, he grabbed the man's arm, twisted, and slammed him face-first onto the concrete. The impact echoed. The man screamed as Nathan pinned him down effortlessly, knee pressing into his spine with surgical accuracy. "Don't move," Nathan said coldly. "If you do, I will break your arm." Amara slid down the side of her car, shaking violently, her hands clutched against her chest as she struggled to breathe. Police sirens wailed faintly in the distance. Nathan didn't look away from the man beneath him. "Amara," he said calmly, like they were standing in an operating room instead of a parking garage. "You're safe. Stay where you are." She stared at him, disbelief mixing with fear. How did you know?" He didn't answer. Security and police flooded the garage minutes later. The man was hauled to his feet, still grinning, still staring at Amara as they dragged him away. "This isn't over," he called back to her cheerfully. "I'll see you soon, doctor." The words sent ice down her spine. Nathan stepped in front of her without hesitation, blocking her view of him. "Don't listen," he said quietly. Amara hugged herself, teeth chattering. Who was that?" Nathan watched the police car disappear up the ramp. "His name is Elias Ward." She swallowed. "How does he know me?" Nathan finally turned to her. His eyes were dark, intense, unreadable. "Because he's been watching you." Her breath hitched. "What?" Nathan's phone buzzed. He silenced it without looking. "We need to get you inside." Amara shook her head, panic resurfacing. "No, I need answers. You showed up out of nowhere. You knew my name. You knew." "I know where you park," he said evenly. "I know your schedule. I know you work too many hours and forget to eat. And I know he's been escalating. Her stomach dropped. How long? Nathan hesitated. Answer me, she whispered. 3 months, he said. The world tilted. 3 months. 3 months of late-night shifts. 3 months of walking alone. 3 months of thinking she was just tired. Paranoid. She laughed weakly. That's not possible. Someone would have said something. They didn't, Nathan replied. I did. Her eyes snapped to him. What? I filed a complaint 5 weeks ago. He said. Administration dismissed it. Said there wasn't enough evidence. Rage flared through her fear. You knew. And you didn't tell me? I was trying to protect you. That's not protection, she snapped. That's control. Nathan didn't flinch. You wouldn't have listened. She opened her mouth to argue, and stopped, because part of her knew he was right. They stood in silence, the garage suddenly too empty. Why are you doing this? She asked finally. Why do you care? Nathan looked at her for a long moment. You should go home, he said. Her voice trembled. I don't feel safe. Nathan nodded once. Then you won't be alone. He escorted her back inside Ridgeview Medical Center, past the familiar halls that suddenly felt foreign. Nurses whispered. Security followed at a distance. Inside the ER, Amara collapsed into a chair, her legs finally giving out. You're shaking, Nathan said. No kidding. He handed her a cup of water. She drank, spilling half of it on her scrubs. You saved a life tonight, he said. She scoffed. I ran. You survived, he corrected. That counts. She looked up at him. You still haven't answered the real question. He met her gaze. How did you know where I was? Nathan exhaled, slowly. I always know where you are. The words landed wrong. Too heavy, too intimate. Her heart pounded again. That's not comforting. It wasn't meant to be. Police returned an hour later. Elias Ward was charged with assault and stalking. He'll be held overnight, the officer said. Bail hearing in the morning. Amara stared at him. Bail. Yes, ma'am. Her hands clenched. So he'll just walk out. Nathan's jaw tightened. Yes. After they left, silence stretched between them. I want a restraining order, Amara said. You'll get one. And security. You'll have it. She stood. I'm going home. Nathan blocked the doorway, gently. Not tonight. She bristled. You don't get to decide that. I do, he said quietly, if it keeps you alive. She searched his face, looking for arrogance, ego, something she could fight. She found none. Only certainty. Why? She whispered again. Why me? Nathan finally looked away. 2 years ago, he said, a child came into this ER unable to breathe. Amara froze. A severe allergic reaction. He continued. Her airway collapsed. The attending froze. Her pulse slowed, dread creeping in. You were a resident, he said. No supervision. No backup. She remembered the blood. The panic. The moment her hands stopped shaking, because there was no time. You cut her throat, Nathan said. You made an airway. You saved her. Amara's voice was barely there. What does that have to do with you? Nathan looked back at her, eyes glistening. That child was my daughter. The room seemed to shrink. She was 4, he said. My wife had died 3 months earlier. I was barely breathing myself. Amara felt tears sting her eyes. I didn't know. You weren't supposed to, he replied. You walked away. You went back to work. He swallowed. I never forgot. Her voice broke. So, you've been watching me. I've been making sure no one ever hurts you, he said. A knock interrupted them. Nathan stiffened. A hospital aide stood nervously at the door. Dr. Hale, there's something you should see. Nathan turned. What is it? The aide handed him a phone. Nathan's expression hardened as he read. "What?" Amara asked. Nathan looked at her slowly. "He made bail." The words hit like a punch. "And," Nathan added, his voice low, "dangerous, he left a message." Amara's stomach dropped. "What did it say?" Nathan held her gaze. He said, "Tell her I'll finish our conversation." And somewhere deep inside the hospital, a phone began to ring. The phone stopped ringing before anyone answered it. The silence that followed was worse. Amara stood frozen, her eyes locked on the device like it might explode. "He called here." Nathan nodded slowly. "From a prepaid phone." Her throat tightened. "So, he knows I'm still in the hospital." "Yes." "And he knows you're with me." "Yes." She let out a short, shaky laugh that cracked halfway through. "That's comforting." Nathan stepped closer, lowering his voice. "Amara, listen to me carefully. You are not going home tonight." She snapped her head up. "I told you." "You're not going home," he repeated, firmer now. "Your apartment is compromised." Her stomach dropped. "How do you know that?" "Because Elias Ward doesn't do things halfway," Nathan said, "and because men like him don't stop when they're embarrassed. They escalate." She hugged herself. "So what do I do? Sleep in the call room forever?" "No." "Then what?" Nathan hesitated for the first time since she'd seen him that night. Just a fraction of a second. Enough to notice. "You come with me," he said. Her brows knitted together. "Where?" "My house." The word landed heavy between them. She shook her head immediately. "Absolutely not." "It's secure," he said. "Gated. Cameras. Private security." "That's not the point," she shot back. "I don't even know you." Nathan met her gaze steadily. "You know enough. That's not reassuring." "It's the safest option." She paced the room, running a hand through her hair. "This is insane. I can't just move into my boss's house because a stalker decided to ruin my life." Nathan's jaw tightened. "He didn't ruin it. He exposed a threat. There's a difference." She stopped pacing. "You talk like this is a procedure." "I talk like someone who's buried his wife," he said quietly, "and almost buried his child." The room fell silent again. Amara's voice softened. "I don't want to be protected like I'm fragile." "I'm not protecting you because you're weak," Nathan said. "I'm protecting you because you matter." Her eyes burned. Before she could respond, her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Her breath caught. "Don't answer," Nathan said immediately. The phone buzzed again, then stopped. A second later, a message appeared. She stared at the screen, dread crawling up her spine. "What did he say?" Nathan asked. Her voice barely worked. "He sent a picture." Nathan's expression hardened. "Of what?" She swallowed. "My front door." Nathan swore under his breath. That was all the convincing she needed. They left the hospital through a private exit just before dawn. Amara rode in silence, watching the city blur past the window. Every red light felt like a trap. Every shadow felt like movement. Nathan's house sat back from the road, partially hidden by tall trees. The gate slid open smoothly, silently. Inside, it was warm. Lived in. Not the cold, sterile space she'd expected. A small voice echoed down the hallway. "Daddy." A little girl appeared, rubbing sleep from her eyes. Her hair was messy, her pajamas too big. Amara's breath caught. "That's her," she whispered. Lily looked at Amara curiously. "Is she the doctor?" Nathan nodded. "Yes." Lily smiled brightly. "You fix my breathing." Amara crouched down instinctively. "I'm really glad you're okay." Lily studied her, then wrapped her arms around her neck in a sudden hug. Amara froze, then slowly hugged back, tears spilling freely now. Nathan turned away discreetly. That night, Amara slept in a guest room with the door locked, a chair wedged under the handle. She didn't sleep much. The next morning, Nathan made coffee like nothing was wrong. "You're transferring," he said casually. She blinked. "Excuse me?" "To my unit," he continued, "effective immediately." "That's not how this works." "It is when I make the call." She frowned. "I don't want favors." "This isn't a favor. It's protection and opportunity. And what happens when Elias realizes where I am?" Nathan's eyes darkened. "Then he'll realize he made a very big mistake." For a brief moment, that scared her more than Elias ever had. Days passed. Security escorted her everywhere. Elias didn't reappear, but his presence lingered like smoke. Anonymous flowers were delivered to the hospital lobby. Notes appeared on her windshield, despite the new parking arrangement. He was watching, waiting. One evening, as Amara helped Lily with homework, her phone buzzed again. Unknown number. This time, she answered. "Hello," she said, her voice steady despite her racing heart. Elias chuckled softly. "You shouldn't have hidden." Her grip tightened. "Leave me alone." "You think he can keep you?" Elias said, "Men like him collect things. You're just the newest one." Nathan took the phone from her and spoke calmly. "This call is being recorded." Elias laughed. "Good. Then you'll hear this clearly." The line went dead. An alert chimed on Nathan's security system. "Motion detected. Front gate." Nathan moved instantly. "Stay here." "No," Amara said, grabbing his arm. "I'm not hiding." They stepped outside together as police sirens approached in the distance. Elias stood at the gate, hands raised, smiling like a man who'd already won. "I just wanted to say goodbye," he called out. Nathan didn't respond. "You saved her once," Elias continued. "Let's see if you can do it twice." Police swarmed him moments later. This time, there was no smile as they dragged him away. Weeks later, the restraining order became permanent. Charges stuck. Elias disappeared into the system. Life didn't snap back to normal. It grew into something new. Amara stayed. She worked under Nathan, learning, growing, pushing herself harder than ever. Lily grew attached to her, insisting she stay for dinner every night. One evening, Amara stood at the window, watching the street. Nathan joined her. "You're safe now." She nodded. "I know." "But," he prompted. "But I'll never be the same," she said. "And I think that's okay." He smiled faintly. Amara turned to the camera in the viewer's mind, voice steady. "Sometimes survival doesn't look like victory," she said. "Sometimes it looks like choosing to keep going." She paused. "And sometimes," she added, "the people who save us are already closer than we realize." If this story kept you hooked till the end, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment what you think should happen next, because some stories don't end when the danger stops. They begin.